I recently designed a charcuterie board for Woodworker's Journal, and since the term is actually derived from processed pork meat, I styled the board to look like a butcher's diagram of cuts. You can access their video and the program files through the link in the description below. Then afterwards, I got the idea that it might be fun to have some matching plates to go with the board. I began by scaling down the drawing of the board and nesting a pair of them onto a 1/2-inch thick piece of stock. The first step is to mill out the center of the small plates. This is done using a 1/2-inch dish carving bit. This type of bit will leave a clean flat bottom on your pocket and a small cove where the perimeter of the pocket meets the sides. This will make your plate easier to clean between uses. Now before cutting the plates out, I want to round over both the inside and the outside edge. And I'm going to use a 1/4-inch radius point cutting roundover bit to do this. Using this bit in V-carve, you can use an offset to control the amount of roundover that actually gets cut. And because this is a point cutting bit, the outside of the plate can be rounded over as well, even before it's cut out. Using the toolpath preview function will allow you to dial in your settings before you cut any wood. The final step on the CNC is to cut the parts out, and we'll be using just a standard 1/4-inch straight cutter for this. The edges of these plates are going to be seen, so rather than using tabs to hold the parts in place, I decided to onion skin. So the cut depth was set to 0.48 inches instead of 0.5, leaving 20/1000ths of an inch of material behind that effectively holds the parts in place. The completed parts need to be cut from the stock, but we're not going to use a flush trim bit here. We'll use a small piloted roundover bit. This will both trim the part out and round over the bottom edge to match the top all in one step. 1/4-inch holes drilled through the onion skin provide a place to start the bit. And the rest is no different than using a flush trim bit. This cutter has a 3/16 brass pilot rather than a bearing. The brass doesn't mark off on parts, and the 3/16 diameter means it moves easily through the 1/4-inch slot that the CNC cut. Once the parts are cut out and then sanded, they're ready for some oil finish and an appearance at your next party. You'll learn many tips and techniques similar to this as you work through the projects in my book, Beginner's Guide to CNC Machining in Wood.